Hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of our Subspace Weekly Developer Sync. Today, we're going to be going around the table and getting updates from everybody on the team. One quick note, we have a new team member, Jeremy Frank. He's just starting today as our VP of Engineer. Jeremy, if you just want to say hello.
Hello, excited to be here.
We're excited as well, Jeremy. Okay. All right, well, to get started, let's talk about the core protocol. Nizar, if you'd like to kick us off, please.
Of course. Last week was quite interesting. There was a big pull request with the initial version of the version 2 consensus. The team had finally found courage to review it fully and to approve so we can merge it. And on top of that, there were 2 pull requests with some cleanups. We deleted many thousands of lines of code on the farmer side and on the client, on the node, due to being unnecessary in the new consensus version. And there is one more upcoming PR that I was working on with different kinds of benchmarks for various components that we've built so we can monitor how they perform. So hopefully that will be created today, and then we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Nizar. And I'm planning to go through that benchmarking and some of the next steps for Consensus V2 with you on our one-on-one today as well. Can you talk a little bit about the testnet and the issues we had over the weekend?
Yeah, it's actually nothing new. Apparently, in some cases, some nodes just happen to stop produce blocks or like participating solving after recommitment. This happened a few weeks ago, and this happened again, and we do not yet know the exact reason, but restart helps.
Right. And it looks like most of the nodes have restarted. It seems like the storage went back to where it was before. Okay. All right. Okay, moving on. Shamil, you're up next.
Sure. Last week, I worked mostly with custom record storage. I implemented ParityDB implementation of the custom storage, and I also spent a lot of time reviewing huge PR from Nazar. This week, I'm going to start integrating DSN with the new consensus because we are going to merge that PR. And my next task would be modifying Farmer and replace RPC version of piecegetter for plotting. That's it.
All right, thanks, Shamil. And I know you've got that question, so we'll probably talk about that at the core protocol sync after this.
Yes.
On the L2 cache layer. Okay. Thanks for posting that in the general chat. Yeah, just a note to everybody on that. If there are any open questions or issues, it's always best to post things in the general engineering chat and tag the people involved just for visibility for everyone versus DMs or waiting until meetings. Just a general note. So thanks for exemplifying that earlier, Shamil. Okay. Moving on to I guess, Yvonne, are there any updates on the core protocol from your side or is it on the product side today?
Yeah, it's on the product side, yeah. But for the core protocol side, yeah, I was also reviewing the pull requests. Great job, guys.
Awesome. Glad to see everybody getting involved in the review process. Okay, moving on to the execution layer. Li Cheng, you're up next.
Yeah, sure. Last week, the primary work I have finished is the second part of Palette executive registry, which includes the support of updating the executive public key, rotates the executive set for the bundle production on each new epoch, and the new stake-weighted bundle election. It's a prototype at present. Before making it like really ready for the first stage, few important to-dos needed to be resolved. More testing is needed, like especially like to run a local like testnet. The PR is now still under the review. I have addressed almost all the comments in the first round of the review, and it can be reviewed again. Yeah. I also studied the palette domain registry and have done some basics of the palette domain registry. Yeah. Yeah, last week I also had a call with Press. The work for this week will be firstly finalizing the PR of palette executive registry, and to run a local executive testnet to test the bundle protection for the system domain. Yeah, and another thing for this week is also to push domain registry as much as possible. Yeah, that's my updates.
Great, thank you, Lu Cheng. Talk more about that system integration on the core processing, but yeah, that's a key objective for this week for sure. Okay, moving on. Ved, you're up next.
Hey everyone, last week was mostly focused on finishing the first draft of Palette Messenger and the first draft of Palette Transporter. We finished adding an integration test for Palette Messenger using Palette Transporter, and everything was fine, and that landed in the main branch. This week, finish up the relayer selection and assignment on the Palette Messenger. And there are some to-dos left for in both of these palettes that I want to handle before I move on to the actual relay implementation. We also had a call with Jeremiah last week regarding the relayer feedback. Got some good feedback there. I'm going to incorporate that this week before I start working on that. Apart from that, yeah, that's all from mine this week.
Great, thank you, Ved. Okay, moving up, Parth, you're up next if you want to update us on your onboarding progress.
Yeah, so on my end, I've been having call with, actually, I believe I have had a call with all the relevant persons in the engineering team regarding execution layer, DSN, as well as the cross-domain messaging protocol. I have went through the documents, and now I have today I have started going through the code, and I'll be compiling a list of design question as well as some code level questions so that I can forward it to relevant people and then get some answers.
Great, thank you, Parth. Definitely drinking through a fire hose right now. Appreciate your efforts there, and look forward to talking with you tomorrow to go through the stack one more time.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the product team. Arthur, if you'd like to kick us off.
Hey, yep. No major updates from our partners. We are speaking with them this week. Later on today, I'll be speaking with the Subspace team to talk about hosting a squid for us on their public repository called Aquarium. So more updates to come from that conversation later today. That's it on my end from the partners.
Great, thank you, Arthur. Okay, Serge, you're up next.
Yeah, so last week was a little bit of everything. On telemetry, we have added highest node count component, which was requested by the marketing team. And currently, I'm working with Ivan on data compression. On desktop, trail of bit security audit in collaboration with Osgon, we closed the most challenging issue, which was related to privilege separation of front end and back end. And also, I was working on first exploring Subsquid, and I also deployed the archive, which is a raw data storage, and submitted PR to the infrastructure repository, which was approved, but I still want to clarify some DevOps details before I merge it. And yeah, looking forward to build something on top of it using squids. That's all.
Awesome, Serge. Glad to hear that. A lot of progress on different fronts, especially on that issue from the security audit. Really, really glad to see that resolved so quickly. If I'm not mistaken, Jeremy, you have a good bit of experience with Subsquid. So you, Arthur and Serge, you guys might want to, when you have your one-on-ones with Jeremy, focus on that, since we're pretty new to it. Okay. Moving on, Özkan, you're up next.
Hello. So last week, my major focus on desktop. I have great news for all the issues related to audit. We have closed them, so I believe we are good to go. And we accomplished that in 1/3 of the time they gave us to. So I believe we are doing a great job there. For the details, we revamped the backend a bit and also frontend a bit with Surge. Tested the whole new changes on both 3 platforms, including Linux, macOS, and Windows. And also found a bug related to our new changes and fixed it. And then we merged the PR. So I believe, to my testing at least, we don't have any bugs with the new introduced changes. Yeah, the summary will be concise, but work is huge.
Wonderful. Really glad to hear that, Özkan. Yeah, next steps, let's coordinate that review with Trail of Bits, Arthur, and get this audit published to the community as soon as we can. Okay. Ivan, you're up next.
Yeah, sure. So I was mainly focused last week on the telemetry. On that end, we finalized the pull requests related to like batching updates and sending them periodically, so that we could save some bandwidth and like our stuff and enable like a node list on the telemetry. So it was finalized. We think with Nazar about that. Also, with Search added the highest node count to the telemetry. Yeah, and apart from that, we're now working on the data compression for the telemetry, so that we could save some bandwidth on that. Yeah, also like I am now working on the submitting that pull request as a patch to the parity of the substrate telemetry for sending data periodically, so that we could merge that upstream. Yeah, so I would work on that this week. Yeah, that's all on my end.
Okay, and are you also working on trying to close out the SDK for the Rust, the new Rust SDK for the unified node farmer? Ivan?
You're lagging a bit. I actually wasn't working on that yet. Yeah, if you want me to focus on that, yeah, I could do that.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you defer to Arthur on that, but we had a discussion about some priorities there last week. Okay. Great. All right. Okay, looks like that's everybody. Okay, so Daria's not here today, but I can give some updates on the R&D side. I have been spending most of my time working on finalizing the new consensus design, or I guess you could say the latest iteration of the new consensus design, as it revolves around the integration with Reed-Solomon coding and KZD commitment schemes, kind of leveraging the fact that they're both polynomial schemes and trying to find some efficient proof system there. Based on some recent research, I have been doing a lot of outreach to the authors of several of those papers and some other researchers in the community, especially as we look towards building out a research team and bringing on a director of research. And there's some promising developments that are coming out of that. So stay tuned for more as we can confirm some of that. I've also shared some resources in the research channel for those of you that are interested. it's looking like KZG is going to get, or polynomial commitment schemes are going to probably get eventually integrated into basically every layer of our stack where we're using a Merkle proof at some point in the future. So it would really be valuable for everybody to get kind of an understanding of how they work. At a black box level, it's pretty easy to understand kind of what it does at an API level if you just accept the magic. If you want to understand how the magic works, it is quite an involved process, but if I can figure it out without a formal math background, I'm pretty sure the rest of y'all can. It's just basic polynomials and a lot of steps. I guess that's the hard part, just remembering all the steps. But yeah, it's exciting stuff, and there's been a lot of work there recently. Hopefully, we'll be able to publish release some of this soon. Okay. Any questions? Anything we need to discuss before we close out today? Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the updates. Thanks for all the hard work. Keep it up. Good luck this week. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will see y'all again next week.